Do you really think that just you and the Mother of Decay can scheme against the Chaos Demon God and seize the opponent's power? You are just a pawn, Chaos said coldly. The demon ancestor's body froze, not caring about the loss of strength. Its entire soul seemed to have fallen into an ice cellar. Can't find any temperature. The demon ancestor understood the deep meaning of Chaos words. Because of this, it felt scared. It turned out that there was a scheming person behind it and the Mother of Decay. Chaos put down his hand. Gume, thanks to you, you helped me retain my strength and escape the plot. The Chaos Demon God is indeed powerful, controls the laws, and is immortal. But because of this, they block the way of other beings. They become laws that can be exploited, and they will be exploited by the laws. It was at this time that the evil ancestor appeared. It sensed the evil ancestor's thoughts and discovered that although the other party could seize power, it could not completely refine the power. So it chose to escape from its shell with the help of the evil ancestor Jin Chan. The power is first placed in the body of the evil demon ancestor, then the body of the Chaos Demon God is discarded and reincarnated. He became a ferocious beast and took the name of Chaos. It does not have the power to find the evil ancestor and regain the past. After all, the time is running out. But unexpectedly, the evil ancestor was placed right under its nose. It actually wants to wait a little longer. However, Feng Qinggran appeared. If the evil ancestor falls into Feng Qinggran's hands, it will be difficult to regain his power. So Chaos chose to take back some of his power first. The remaining part is not important, it is stored with the evil ancestor first. Are you not afraid that I will tell this secret? The evil ancestor couldn't describe his mood at this moment. He felt like he was gnashing his teeth, but he couldn't do anything to the other person. You won't tell. Chaos raised his hand, drew a seal, and drove it into the body of the evil ancestor. Chaos said calmly, this way you can't tell me. By the way, what do you want to do with me? Ask me why I am willing to sign an equal contract with Feng Qinggran. Demon ancestor, is this still important? It doesn't want to talk about anything now. Chaos said calmly, the reason why I signed the contract with her is very different from your purpose. What is the task that Shannon entrusts you with? They asked me to look for the key. They said that if I find the key, I can see God. They also asked me to follow Feng Qinggran and I will definitely find the key. The evil ancestor said weakly. It has no intention of resisting now. He couldn't fight Chaos anyway, so he might as well just lie down and accept his fate for the time being. Indeed, Chaos agreed. Is there really a God? The evil ancestor became a little more angry. Chaos affirmed, of course it exists. Even brainless people like you and the Mother of Decay can come this far. Why can't God survive? The evil ancestor opened his eyes as wide as possible. You also want to attack God. The predecessor of Xuanren was the God Rebel, and the God of Cookery received countless benefits. Therefore, Taoism's purpose in seeking God is naturally impure. This is not something you should know. Chaos seemed to have run out of interest. What is the purpose of coming to me? I want more living space, the evil ancestor said. As soon as you leave here, the living space outside will be wider. Chaos snapped his fingers and nodded seriously. You leave with Feng Qinggran, follow her, and see what kind of existence is around her. Demon ancestor. Did you leave with Feng Qinggran because you wanted it to die faster? Don't worry, I'll hide my aura for you so she won't notice your presence. But after you go out, don't get involved with the Mother of Decay again, or you'll have to decide what will happen to you. Chaos threatened. Before the evil ancestor could refute, he turned into a beast pill. Chaos stretched out his hand, took it out in the void, and took out a token. Xuanren, you don't need to contact me, just follow Feng Qinggran. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1068 Experience, Golden Ticket +1 Update. Lingyun Sect. Yuehua Mountain. If you have wine today, you will get drunk today. Fourth senior brother, come on, let's have another drink. Bailey Wenyu put his arms around Mu Chanjua's neck, raised his head and drank another glass of wine. Ha ha ha, fourth senior brother, why do you look so hopeless? Ning Xiyu laughed very loudly. Mu Chanjua's face was expressionless, pretending not to hear Ning Xiyu's words. He really wished he could go back in time. Then he would definitely not ask Bailey Wenyu to have a drink. Who would have thought that a monk would go crazy after just one glass of wine? Bailey Wenyu raised the empty wine glass in front of Mu Chanjue. Fourth senior brother, why is your glass empty? Why don't you fill it up quickly? Mu Chanjue accepted his fate and poured wine for Bailey Wenyu. Fortunately, this kid only drinks it by himself and won't drink it at all. But Bailey Wenyu had spotted him now and held his neck tightly. Mu Chanjue looked at Liu Kanglan with pleading eyes. Liu Kanglan was really focused on feeding Luan Jin and didn't even receive the look from Mu Chanjue. Mu Chanjue, what a person who values sex over friends. De Gu Jian did not touch a drop of wine and concentrated on wiping the sword. Third senior sister, give him a sobering pill. Mu Chanjue clasped his hands together and said to Qin Hanyan. Qin Hanyan nodded in agreement. I'll go back and refine it now. Ning Xiyu stood up immediately. Yanyan, I'm with you. Xiyu, you play here first, Qin Hanyan said warmly. The alchemy process was too boring, and Qin Hanyan didn't want Ning Xiyu to follow him. Okay, Ning Xiyu thought for a while and decided to make elixirs in the sect. There would be no harm, so she sat back. Qin Hanyan flew back to Hanyan Peak and began to refine the hangover pill. The materials Feng Qinggran had prepared for her before were all needed for practice, but none of them could be used to refine sobering pills. Qin Hanyan thought about whether to go out and buy some materials. He couldn't help but think of Feng Qinggran's previous instructions not to let them leave the sect without permission. Qin Hanyan decided to refine some Qingshin pills to replace the hangover pills. At the same time, Yuehua Mountain. A joking voice sounded, are you guys quite leisurely? When Bailey Wenyu heard this voice, he let go of Mu Chanjue with a swish, put his hands behind his back, hit the wine glass, and started to memorize the technique. Liu Kanglan, Mu Chanjue, Ning Shiyu, no eyesight. But he also stood up quickly. Junior sister, we are just relaxing and not delaying our cultivation. Liu Kanglan was the first to come out and explain. Dagu Janyi seemed to be the calmest among them. He held his sword and stood up slowly. Junior sister, let's try another form of cultivation, Mu Chanjue said with a smile. Fang Qingran looked around, glanced at the embarrassed Luin Jin, looked at Liu Kanglan and said, elder brother, where is the third senior sister? She felt that she must have forced them hard before, which was why they were in this situation. It's also time to send them to have some experience. Han Yan went to refine the sobering pill for Wen Yue, Liu Kanglan said. Fang Qingran's eyes flashed slightly, remembering that Ling Yun sect didn't have the materials to refine the sobering pill at all. Qin Hanyan wouldn't leave to buy it, right? Little junior sister. While Fang Qingran was thinking, Qin Hanyan had already arrived at Yuehua Mountain. Third senior sister. After saying hello, Fang Qingran made room for Mo Jinggong, who was standing behind him, to fully appear in the eyes of Liu Kanglan and others. This is Mo Jinggong, from now on he will be the seventh disciple of the sect. Fang Qingran introduced everyone else. Mo Jinggong looked at everyone with indifferent eyes, and he just nodded lightly to the greetings. Liu Kanglan just thought that Mo Jinggong was not familiar with them, so he was so indifferent and didn't think much about it. Fang Qingran saw them saying hello and said, Senior brother, I have found a place for you to practice. Once you get there, you can just practice according to your own plan. I will not care about you anymore. Really? Bailey Wenyu exclaimed. Yes, but there are some threats in that place. After you enter, be careful and avoid spreading out. If you encounter danger, shout my name 3 times. Fang Qingran explained. Liu Kanglan and others looked at each other. How long will we have to practice inside? Liu Kanglan asked. It doesn't matter how long it takes, until you don't want to stay anymore. Fang Qingran said. The time flow rate in Shifang domain is different from that outside. Even if Liu Kanglan and the others stayed inside for hundreds of years, only a few years would have passed since they came out. Okay, little junior sister, this is Luin Jin. Liu Kanglan said half of the words. Fang Qingran raised her hand and interrupted, she can go in with you to practice. Luin Jin and Mo Jinggong secretly sent word that they would follow Liu Kanglan and the others to the Shifang territory. Successfully sent Liu Kanglan and his party to Shifang realm. Mo Jinggong flicked his sleeves and showed the scene of Shifang realm. Fang Qingran smiled lightly at Mo Jinggong, 7th senior brother, what do you think of them? Yes, you have good taste. Liu Kanglan and the others entered the Shifang domain, which was like a fairyland. Everyone's face looked very excited. Only Luin Jin looked around seriously, still not casting a warning look in a certain direction. Bailey Wenyu was sober now. He looked at the place where the mountains and rivers intertwined each other and said happily, this is simply a paradise. I feel like I can keep practicing here. Can you still fly with a sword? Luin Jin asked. Flying with a sword. I can still step into the air, what's going on? Where is my cultivation? Bailey Wenyu said with a confused look on his face. Liu Kanglan felt his own strength, but it was all gone. He looked at Dagu Janyi, who shook his head. Qin Hanyan also shook his head. Ning Shiyu shook her head in the same way. Mu Chanjue shook his folding fan, and a small cauldron appeared beside him. Don't worry, we just can't use our cultivation, but we can still practice. Without cultivation, what should we do if we encounter a monster? Bailey Wenyu asked. Mu Chanjue touched his chin and said extremely seriously, then there is only one way, run. 4th senior brother, are you kidding me? How can we outrun the World of Warcraft? 6th junior brother, I'm not joking. You don't have to run past the monster. You just need to run past one of us. Bailey Wenyu was speechless and choked for a moment. Ning Shiyu put a stack of talismans into Bailey Wenyu's hand and said, don't listen to 4th senior brother, he is the most careless. The talismans are still usable, but if you can't run away, throw away the talismans first and then run. Hey, 5th junior sister, you are really willing to give me a stack, too? Mu Chanjue stretched out his hand and asked. I'll give you a few. I believe you are the fastest and don't need it at all. Ning Shiyu glanced at shouting meaningfully. She was lucky enough to have seen the power of this thing once. Seeing their atmosphere, Luin Jin seemed to have thought of something, and his eyes showed sadness. Here, Luin Jin, this is yours. Ning Shiyu pushed dozens of talismans to Luin Jin and showed a bright smile. Luin Jin was stunned for a moment and was about to say thank you. An inappropriate voice sounded in the distance, you actually gave Luin Jin such a talisman, you were simply polluting her. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1069. Let's talk about martial ethics first. Who is there? Liu Kanglan stood in front of everyone and looked towards the place where the sound came from. When Luin Jin heard the voice, the annoyance flashed through his eyes, and he quickly said to Ning Shiyu, this talisman is very good, thank you. Ning Shiyu waved her hand indifferently, it doesn't matter. Luin Jin, how are you living outside? The voice sounded again, the voice full of distress. Luin Jin clenched her hands into fists. If it weren't for the fact that Liu Kanglan and the others were still there, she would have rushed forward and beat him until his teeth were all over the floor. What a fool for not being warned. Liu Kanglan and others' eyes fell on Luin Jin, and now they were sure that the speaker in front of them knew Luin Jin. I just don't know whether the speaker is a human or an animal. Only beasts above the holy level can speak human language. If the person speaking in front of them is a beast, it is a threat to them. After all, you can tell by the sound that the speaker is very dissatisfied with them. Facing the gazes of several people, Luin Jin's cheeks were slightly red, and she shouted in one direction, get out. Boom, boom, boom. A half-mountain high ape with 6 arms appeared in front of Liu Kanglan and others. The 6-armed ape appears to be as tall as a mountain. The posture is particularly strange. He was squirming, as if he was embarrassed to look at Luan Jin. Luan Jin, do you want to eat anything? I'll prepare it for you, Lu Armed Ape said in a loud voice. Lu Kanglan and others, it's so annoying. It's really eye-catching. The corners of Luan Jin's mouth twitched, and she suddenly regretted following him in. I don't need it, you can go back, Luan Jin said, holding his forehead. The six-armed ape suddenly became aggrieved and said, Luan Jin, don't worry, my current cooking skills will definitely not poison you. When Niu Chanjue saw this scene, Bailey Wenyu blinked crazily and said via voice transmission, what level of Warcraft is Wenyu? Why have I never seen it in ancient books? Bailey Wenyu said with a bad look on his face, fourth senior brother, this is probably not a Warcraft. As for the level, I can't tell at all. Since it knows Luan Jin, it must be at the holy level. This is the outskirts of the secret realm. There are holy beasts. Wenyu, I have a bad feeling, Niu Chanjue said through a message. Especially since this beast had previously disliked the talisman. That means they also have talismans. Bailey Wenyu sent a message, fourth brother, your feeling is really accurate. I was about to tell everyone that there are countless beasts hiding around here. However, for some unknown reason, they are all observing us. No, it means to attack. Niu Chanjue looked around. There were green shades and ancient trees, but there was no trace of the beast. Such places do not attack them. Could it be that there was not enough meat and there was no discussion? When Niu Chanjue thought about this, his whole body felt bad. Now everyone's strength is restricted, let alone fighting, even escaping is a luxury. Niu Chanjue looked at Lu Kanglan and said through a message, elder brother, can your formation still work? There is a higher level formation here, and my formation cannot be used. Lu Kanglan said in a message. Niu Chanjue turned to communicate with Degu Janyi. Degu Janyi sent a message, the swordsmanship is still usable, but the power is greatly reduced. Qin Hanyan is an alchemist, and other low-level spells cannot be used. Ning Shiyu's talisman can be used, but without the strength, it takes more energy to draw the talisman. The rest is Bailey Wenyu. They only knew that Bailey Wenyu could control simple beasts before, but Bailey Wenyu was not strong enough to control high-level beasts for the time being. The communication between Luan Jin and the six-armed ape was completely like a chicken talking to a duck. The six-armed ape wanted Luan Jin to follow it. Luan Jin thought about it again and again, said goodbye to Lu Kanglan and left. Wait until you are far enough away. Why are you threatening me? Luan Jin looked at the six-armed ape coldly, full of aura. Luan Jin, I really don't, I'm just thinking about you. The six-armed ape bowed his head and said to please. Luan Jin looked around and said, you all, come out and tell us what's going on. It's not that Luan Jin doesn't want to look good to the ferocious beasts. But some ferocious beasts are so weird that as long as you give them a smile, the other person will think she likes them. There are even a handful of more bizarre beasts. He will interpret her smile as a signal that he agrees to have cubs with her. From then on, when she entered the Shifang realm, she could only keep a cold face and no longer release any kind thoughts. Under such circumstances, the beasts will become much more normal and can communicate normally. Luan Jin, Phoenix Master arranged a special trial for them before leaving. It is very dangerous. If you follow them, we will be tied up and you may be accidentally injured by then. Six-armed ape explained. Other ferocious beasts came out one after another. Some ferocious beasts stared at Luan Jin and drooled. The only female beast. If you can mate with her, you can have cubs. There are also some who hold their heads high, release pressure, show off their strength, and try to attract Luan Jin's attention. There are also normal ferocious beasts. They have been able to restrain the nature of the ferocious beasts. Master Phoenix, Luan Jin's eyes flickered, and a bright and beautiful face flashed across the sea of consciousness. Could it be her beside Master Mo? Hearing this, Fu Dao took the initiative and said, yes, Master Feng, our Shifang domain has become what it is now, all because of Master Feng's good command, and she also gave the weak ferocious beasts a good living space. In short, Phoenix Master is very powerful. Ever since Fu Dao followed the Taiku Ming snake, he had always raised his head and was extremely proud. Why do you listen to her so much? Luan Jin looked at the ferocious beasts in confusion. They were not of a peaceful nature. As soon as Luan Jin said these words, the eyes of the ferocious beasts began to dodge. They really don't want to recall this dark history. Except for Zhu Juyan, they were among the top 10 ferocious beasts. Most of the other ferocious beasts were completely convinced after being beaten. Fang Qinggran said nothing more than nonsense. Just ask, are you convinced? If he refused, he continued to beat him. If you accepted, then you can go to work. Later, too, he destroyed the planted area without permission and was beaten up. Get into fights, destroy buildings, get beat up. Wherever Fang Qinggran has injured them, they cannot be repaired by any healing method. They can only be cared for slowly and get better over time. If martial ethics cannot convince him, then go to mental torture. All kinds of delicacies are placed in front of you, and you can only look at them and eat them. At this point, if he still refuses to give in, he will be dragged into a small dark room by the Ant King. As for what happened inside, the ferocious beasts that came out kept silent. Anyway, the ferocious beasts that came out were all obedient to Fang Qinggran. Luan Jin became curious when she saw the ferocious beasts looking around and talking. She fully understood how strange these ferocious beasts were. Fang Qinggran was able to be so obedient to them and learn to control his own nature. I'm really curious about how the other party did it. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1070 Code of Ferocious Beasts. Luan Jin didn't want to talk when he saw the ferocious beasts, and he didn't intend to ask any more questions, so he changed the topic, when will their training start? When the ferocious beasts heard this, their eyes suddenly changed and they were extremely excited. Don't worry, let them adapt for a while first, Six-Armed Ape said. Luin Jin obviously didn't believe this. When did you become so kind? The six-armed ape chuckled and scratched his head with both arms at the same time. They must be full of vigilance when they first come. Taking action at this time will not be effective. Let's let them wait for a while. After they completely relax their vigilance, we will take action again. After Luin Jin heard this, his eyes fell on Yingzhao not far away. Did you come up with this idea? Among these ferocious beasts, the one who hates humans deeply is undoubtedly Yingzhao. Other ferocious beasts are not so thoughtful. Yingzhao had a cold face, with bruises under his eyes, and snorted coldly. Luin Jin, since they are here to practice, they should understand that danger will come at any time. That's the first lesson I teach them. I see that you are quite close to them, but I advise you to mind your own business. I arranged their first training session. Luin Jin, to tell you the truth, letting them relax their vigilance is the first step, and the second step is to let them get beaten. After all, there are constant dangers during the cultivation process, and being beaten can strengthen their physique and willpower. After Yingzhao finished speaking, he looked at Luin Jin quite proudly. Other ferocious beasts like Luin Jin, but it doesn't. Giving birth to cubs is not as important to it as improving its strength. As long as you are strong enough, you can survive for generations to come, so why do you need a successor? Luin Jin, don't pay attention to it. Yingzhao's plan against Phoenix Master failed before. At this moment, he is holding his breath and can't say anything good. Six-armed ape said from the side. Zhu Yan also said quickly, Luin Jin, the boss always speaks in this tone to everyone. Don't be angry, the boss has no bad intentions. He just wants to complete Master Phoenix's arrangement. Zhu Yan maintained a stiff smile, but he was actually crying in his heart. On one side is the favorite beast, on the other side is the boss. The two sides do not deal with each other. It feels so uncomfortable to be stuck in the middle. Yingzhao, I wish you good luck. Luin Jin's eyes flashed with amusement. Lu Kanglan and the others were not easy to deal with. The fact that Yingzhao can say this shows that he will not harm Lu Kanglan's lives. This way she has nothing to interfere with. Luin Jin, what do you mean by this? Yingzhao asked seriously. Boss, you can't even tell this. Luin Jin is showing his kindness to you. I wish you good luck. Zhu Yan hurriedly said to the side. Yingzhao heard this and couldn't bear it anymore. He raised his hoof and kicked Zhu Yan out. Yingzhao finally felt much better, glanced at Luin Jin, and then said, let's go. More than a dozen ferocious beasts followed Yingzhao and left. After Yingzhao left, Luin Jin raised his head and looked up. Tuti, Qiongqi, Yaozhu, Yuzhao, Ant Emperor, etc. had been watching the show above and did not come down. Luin Jin, if you want to continue to stay in Shifang Domain, you must abide by the code of ferocious beasts. The Ant Emperor threw a jade slip to Luin Jin and said. Luin Jin caught the jade slip and opened it to read. Rule 1 of Shifang Domain, fights must go to designated areas. Rule 2, no food should be wasted in any form. Rule 3, ferocious beasts must be paid for their labor and must not be robbed. Ellipsis. Luin Jin read each item one by one and felt a little doubtful. Can these rules really restrain the ferocious beasts? Luin Jin, do you have any doubts? Can I answer them for you? The six-armed ape said cautiously. It was really afraid that Luin Jin would leave the Shifang territory after a disagreement because of these rules. Luin Jin was allowed by Demon King Qi to freely enter and exit the Shifang domain. Every time Luin Jin leaves, it takes a long time to come back, leaving him little time to please Luin Jin. Luin Jin closed the jade slip and ignored the six-armed monkey. Ant Emperor, what will happen if the rules above are violated? The Ant Emperor said, the first violation will be thrown into the ant colony, and the second violation will be locked up in a small dark room. Of course, if it is the Phoenix Master will handle it personally. Thank you. After Luin Jin said this, he flashed and disappeared in front of the ferocious beasts. Luin Jin, don't leave. Six-armed ape immediately shouted nervously. Stop shouting, Luin Jin has entered the city. The Ant Emperor said with disdain. It's just a female beast, that's all. Swish, swish, swish. The ferocious beasts disappeared one after another, leaving only a few. The Ant Emperor looked at Tuti beside him. Tuti, didn't you like Luin Jin the most before? Why didn't you go after her? Tuti was silent and looked wilted. Before Master Feng left, Tuti went to negotiate with Master Feng and received a scolding. He probably hasn't recovered yet, Fu Dao said. It deserves it. Whoever made it roll around wanted to leave with the Phoenix Master, and even threatened the Phoenix Master, saying that if he didn't take it away, he would eat all the food in the 10 directions. Yongzhu gloated. It was a threat. It was injured in the middle of the execution. It went to find the Phoenix Master. The Phoenix Master added a ban to the food. If you eat it normally, nothing will happen. But if you eat more than it, the ban will backfire and it hurts beyond belief. The Ant King tells the truth. At that time, it and the red yellow ants were waiting for the Yingzhao group to take the bait. As a result, Yingzhao didn't come first. Tuti appeared sneakily. It was afraid that coming out to stop Tuti would alert Yingzhao later, so it just let Tuti eat it. Food ban. Fu Dao was shocked. There is such a ban. The Ant King rarely became serious. You still don't understand the appetite of our ferocious beasts. If everyone eats it, the food will not be enough for us to build. Whether it's a vegetarian diet or a meat diet, it takes time to develop. It's all rationed. The amount of food arranged by Phoenix Master is just enough for us to suppress our appetite. Eating more will not help, but will cause problems with food distribution. The ferocious beasts do not need food to fill their stomachs. They care so much about food simply because appetite is the easiest to satisfy. Otherwise, it will resort to fighting or killing to relieve its violent heart. Beast fights are no joke. Before Fang Qingbran came, Shifang territory was riddled with holes. There is no green at all, and no life at all. The Ant King doesn't want to go back to those days at all. That's why it was willing to work for Feng Qingbran and protect the peace of Shifang realm together. It also wants the ferocious beasts to have a safe place. Then like other orcs, there is cohesion. The Phoenix Master has done a lot of things for us secretly. The Ant Emperor sighed. Food bans are not simple, especially bans that work on ferocious beasts. Feng Qingbran wanted to study this restriction. It took a lot of effort. HMPH, what do you mean she did it for us? Yongzhu snorted in dissatisfaction. She uses the rules of the human race to restrain us and suppress our nature. This is just to tame us. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1071 Targeting, additional update. 10 directions. Somewhere in a dense forest. It's been a year, why haven't we encountered a single beast? Bailey Wenyu lay on the tree, looking at the sky speechlessly. Since Luan Jin left, he has never felt the beast's breath again. Forget it if there is no beast. Danger was never encountered. Ning Xiu stood on the top of a tree, looking into the distance to check the situation. During this year, they traveled to many places and saw countless scenery. Leisurely is leisurely. But I always feel like I am missing a sense of stability. I can't feel at ease while practicing. I am always worried about encountering accidents and cannot fully enter the state. She also began to understand what her previous days in Lingyun Sect meant. The most superior technique. The best training resource. The best training environment. There are also guidance on various cultivation experiences. When they were going through the Thunder Tribulation, they were even escorted by their little junior sister, which made their cultivation journey extremely smooth. It also gave them a sense of pride. Even though they have hatred buried in their hearts, the excessively smooth cultivation path has caused them to lose their sense of danger. In fact, in the world of immortality, dangers are the norm. Stability is an illusion. Only the strong are qualified to talk about stability. Ning Xiu looked down. Liu Kanglan was studying the array, Gu Jianye was practicing swordsmanship, and Qin Hanyan was refining elixirs. Mu Chanjue and Bailey Wenyu were lying on the tree to rest. Something flashed through Ning Xiu's mind. She ducked out of the way and jumped down from the tree. Elder brother, let's practice separately, Ning Xiu said. Separate. Liu Kanglan seemed to be thinking about this proposal. Mu Chanjue jumped down from the tree. It's okay to separate. Bailey Wenyu's eyes were tangled. He didn't want to separate. But it seems that only Bailey Wenyu disagrees, while the other 5 people all agree. Liu Kanglan thought for a while. How about we separate, and we can still take care of each other, me and Chanjue, Xiu and Hanyan, Jianye and Wenyu. I have no objection, Gu Jian said. To him, as long as he has the sword, it doesn't matter who he is with. I have no objection either. Mu Chanjue smiled and gave Bailey Wenyu a meaningful look. I'm afraid this kid is not very satisfied. But it is impossible for Ning Xiu and Qin Hanyan to be separated. So they divided into 3 directions and practiced individually. Before leaving, Ning Xiu drew a few special signal symbols. When in danger, crush the talisman. The guide talisman held by others will work. Over the sky. Boss, you are so amazing. They actually separated. What should we do next? Zhu Yan said flatteringly. Ying Zhao glanced at Zhu Yan coldly and said, make arrangements to make every team have a hard time. Zhu Yan said excitedly, don't worry, boss, I will definitely want them. Don't hurt your life, Ying Zhao suddenly said. This is what it promised Feng Qingbran. As long as it fulfills this promise, she will take it to see the Lord Tianyu. Boss, don't worry, I won't do it. Zhu Yan nodded repeatedly. This is Phoenix Master's person. He has the heart, but he doesn't have the courage. After Zhu Yan finished speaking, he turned around to make arrangements. Halfway. The 6-armed ape stopped Zhu Yan and said, brother, let's discuss something. What? Zhu Yan asked cautiously. I know you are about to start training them. I have a small request. Please pay special attention to Liu Kanglan, okay? 6-armed Tongyuan said. Zhu Yan asked in confusion, why? Each of them will be taken care of. The 6-armed ape god mysteriously transmitted his message. I suspect that Luan Jin is attracted to him. What nonsense are you talking about? Luan Jin is a ferocious beast. How could he fall in love with a small human race? Zhu Yan glared at the 6-armed ape. Even if Luan Jin doesn't want to mate with them, it is impossible to match a human race. Little brother, this is just a guess. When we took Luan Jin back to Ferocious Beast City, I found that she glanced at Liu Kanglan several times before leaving. 6-armed Tongyuan said. All the ferocious beasts have strange thoughts towards Luan Jin. This caused them to all stare at each other, so no one had the chance to force Luan Jin. Moreover, Luan Jin's own strength is not low and he cannot be easily forced. Luan Jin is the only female beast in their Ferocious Beast clan. She may not even like that ferocious beast. But you absolutely cannot like a human race. In this case, all the ferocious beasts will definitely unite and act in unison. Are you sure this is not your imagination? Zhu Yan's eyes were suspicious. That day, he only stared at Luan Jin and didn't notice this. The 6-armed ape said seriously, I would rather believe that it is there than let it go. We can set up a trap to test Luan Jin. Zhu Yan turned his eyes and asked, what are your plans? Liu Kanglan and Mu Chanjue arrived at a place. Liu Kanglan suddenly stopped. Elder brother, why don't you leave? Something's wrong here, Liu Kanglan said seriously. Mu Chanjue summoned the small cauldron and asked it to look around. He and Liu Kanglan had no strength at all, and there were only so many things they could investigate. There were high-level formations everywhere we walked before, but they're gone here. Liu Kanglan said with a wary look. Senior brother, Xiao Ding said there are many dangers around us. Mu Chanjue unfolded his folding fan and held it in front of him, but his eyes were full of excitement. Next moment. The environment before the two of them suddenly changed. From deep forest to desert. The sound of swish, swish, swish sounded. Piles of sand appeared not far away, surrounding them. At the same time, several behemoths appeared in the sky above Liu Kanglan and Mu Changjue. Mu Changjue and Liu Kanglan stood back to back, warily watching the sand pile in front of them and guarding against the sneak attack of the giant beast in the sky. Both of them had a tacit understanding not to raise a signal to ask for help. This kind of dangerous situation is something they can't handle even if they come. At this moment, a giant eagle-like beast in the sky pounced on Liu Kanglan. Mu Changjue noticed the eagle's movement and threw the small tripod at it. Boom! The eagle and the small tripod collided and was stunned for a moment, then fainted and hit the sand pile. Expose what's inside. A poisonous scorpion. Liu Kanglan and Mu Changjue's faces suddenly changed. Hiss. Liu Kanglan only felt severe pain on his ankle, and then a chilly force quickly spread throughout his body. Liu Kanglan suddenly felt his eyes darken and his consciousness became blurred. Elder brother, what's wrong with you? Mu Changjue turned to look at Liu Kanglan, and saw that his face was black and purple, and his whole body was exuding cold air. Mu Changjue immediately helped Liu Kanglan and shouted, "Little Ding." Xiao Dingfei returned to Mu Changjue and released a wave of pressure. The poisonous scorpion that had reached Mu Changjue's feet froze and did not dare to move. Several ferocious beasts above also suddenly stopped preparing to attack. The aura on Xiao Ding's body really frightened them. But it is impossible for a mere weapon spirit to emit such power. At the same time, Zhu Jian, who was sleeping in the cave, slowly opened his eyes. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1072, The Cauldron of Creation, Golden Ticket +2. The power of Zhu Jian's spiritual consciousness was released, feeling the aura that awakened it. The power of divine consciousness fell on Xiao Ding. The small cauldron is as big as a palm, and the coercion it exudes is enough to intimidate all the ferocious beasts around it. But that's not all its power. Xiao Ding still restrained his breath. And there are two spirits in the small cauldron, one is the weapon spirit, and the other is the Yuan spirit. Yuan Ling was exuding terrifying pressure at this moment. Zhu Jian was not surprised by this. He had seen one weapon and two spirits before, so this was nothing. However, isn't this fortune cauldron belonging to the demon god of creation, Yao Ji? Could it be that Yao Ji also encountered something unexpected with the predators? The Reavers were originally created to target the Chaos Demon. Because the Chaos Demon gods each control a law and are immortal, they block the way of some existences. So the predators show up. The predator can ignore any rules and directly absorb the opponent's strength. Although the Chaos Demon god can smash plunderers to pieces with one palm, when facing countless plunderers, there are always some fish that slip through the net. Once it sticks to it, its strength will be sucked away by the other party. Moreover, predators do not simply plunder strength. Even the power of law can be plundered bit by bit. The power of the Chaos Demon god's own laws has been eroded. If this continues, the power of the laws will eventually be exhausted and he will no longer be able to achieve immortality. So many Chaos Demon gods are like it. He gave up the laws he controlled and hid his whereabouts. But Yao Ji is different. She is the demon of creation. The heaven and earth have infinite creation. She is one of the demons who is not afraid of predators. Yao Ji wants to find out the mastermind behind the design of the Chaos Demon. So he went to explore the universe without any hesitation. That small cauldron is Yao Ji's fortune cauldron. Now that it has fallen into the hands of predators, does it mean that something unexpected has happened to Yao Ji? Wrong. Zhu Jian felt it carefully and found that Mu Changjue not only had the blood of the predator, but also the blood of the Chaos Demon god. How can this be? Zhu Jian had an idea flash through his mind. Zhu Jian looked through the void and looked at Mu Changjue with complex eyes. Gradually it became unbelievable. Mu Changjue turned out to be the bloodline of Yao Ji and the Marauders. How could Yao Ji combine with the predators? And gave birth to blood. The predator is the tool of the mastermind behind it. Could it be that Yao Ji fell into a trap and was forced to give birth to Mu Changjue? Zhu Jian shook his head. If Yao Ji was forced, it would be absolutely impossible for this small cauldron to fall into Mu Changjue's hands and be used by him. Zhu Jian looked away. Since it was Yao Ji's choice, it was a foregone conclusion. It's better not to ask anything. Zhu Jian chose to continue sleeping with his eyes closed, but this time, he couldn't fall asleep no matter what. Zhu Jian communicates with its clone in the mysterious realm of Yuxuan. The mysterious realm. Zhu Jian's clone found Qi. Old antique, Qi Qian, what are you doing with me? Qi picked up a chess piece and looked at Zhu Jian calmly. Tell me, besides Shranman, who else plots against the gods? Why can it plot against the gods? Zhu Jian asked seriously. The priesthood of the gods was not added by the Chaos Demon god. Tao governs all things, and ruthlessness is supreme. It is even less possible to impose priesthood on gods. Qi smiled and paused. Don't you claim that you want to live a long life? Why do you care about these issues? Little bastard, do you want to say it or not? Zhu Jian glared at Qi Dao. It's okay if you want to know, but you have to promise me not to take revenge. Qi said softly. It is not difficult to destroy the opponent. But the other person and Tao almost blended into one. If you push the opponent into a hurry, thousands of creatures in the universe will suffer. If they want to destroy the other party, they must wait for an existence that can replace it, otherwise they can't do anything. Okay, Zhu Jian agreed. Qi put down another chess piece. Shranman has never calculated against God. It is just a chess piece of the Taoist master of the Chaos realm. The Taoist master took control of the Hongmeng tree by chance, which is the mother tree of thousands of universes. He used the Hongmeng tree to gradually control thousands of Taoist traditions, comprehend the first Taoist laws, and know that the truly important laws are in the hands of the Chaos Demon god. So he turned his attention to you. In the early stages of the growth of the Hongmeng tree, in order to stabilize the world as quickly as possible, it handed over half of its control. The Taoist master used this part of his control to create the predators, calculated the power of law in you, and gave us the priesthood. The Taoist master tied him to the Hongmeng tree and used his Taoist lineage to gradually establish contact with the boundary trees in thousands of universes. In this way, no one dares to destroy his Taoist lineage easily. After that, he really reached out to you. Actually, with your strength, you can definitely deal with him. But many times in this world, the competition is about who is less sinister and more ruthless. As expected, you have chosen to give in for the sake of many living beings. The Chaos Gods and demons are completely hidden, and the Taoist master thought of us again. He wanted to use our constant decline to force you to show up again. Fortunately, Mo took action later and helped me lift the shackles of the rules. Qi was always calm when he spoke, but when he pinched the chess piece with his knuckles, he obviously used a little more force. You know who your enemy is, but you can't take action. He could only push himself to this point. Do you still remember Yao Ji? Zhu Jian asked coldly. Demon god of creation, remember? Qi nodded. Zhu Jian looked embarrassed and said, I suspect that she has encountered something unexpected. If the Taoist master really has the help of the Hongmeng tree, she may not be his opponent. You actually found out, so I won't hide it from you. Yao Ji fell in love with the predators, and then he was attacked by the predators when he was giving birth to a child. He died. The rest is unknown at the moment. Zhu Jian looked stunned when he heard this. Why did she fall in love with the predator? With a personality like Yao Ji's, one shouldn't fall in love with a predator. The light in Qi's eyes was dim and difficult to understand. I don't know that. When I learned the news, the child had disappeared and the predators had been dealt with. The aura around Zhu Jian was icy cold. I saw that child, and I also saw Yao Ji's creation cauldron. Mu Chanjue, Qi said. Is Fang Qingran the person you selected to replace the Taoist master? Correct. Why did you choose her? Have you asked her about her wishes? A strange look flashed in Qi's eyes. She is the only one who can succeed. Does her will matter? The path she chose, why should she ask about her will? Zhu Jian's eyes moved like the sun and the moon. Did the Master Mo say that? Who else can spy so far apart from him? Qi Fan asked. It is inevitable for someone who can escape the long river of time to replace the Taoist master. When Fang Qingran came across the long river of time, she was already destined to embark on this path. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1073. The secret must not be revealed. Zhu Jian looked at Qi with deep and distant eyes, as if he could transcend all obstacles and see through the end of the universe. Qi accepted this calmly, picked up another chess piece and placed it gently on the chessboard. The outcome of many things has been determined from the beginning. After a while, Zhu Jian's pupils shrank sharply, and fine beads of sweat appeared on his forehead. You must know that Zhu Jian is the Chaos Demon God, and his body is also immortal and cannot be damaged unless it is an innate treasure. The power within his body is as vast as the sea. Even if they experienced an ancient war, they would only shed blood but not sweat. The appearance of beads of sweat means that the power in Zhu Jian's body is about to be exhausted, and there is no more power to maintain the body. Qi was a little curious about what Zhu Jian saw that made him like this. But even if this happened, Zhu Jian had no intention of giving up. It seemed that what it saw was important, which forced it to continue looking. Qi remembered Mo Jinggong's advice to him not to pry into Fang Qingran's past, he just needed to know her differences. Mo told him not to look. Of course he won't look at it. But he was still curious about Fang Qingran's past. But being curious, he could still control himself not to look. After all, even Zhu Jian looked like this, and his little strength can stand the test. Zhu Jian started to have fine beads of sweat, but now there are cracks all over his body, and his breath gradually begins to become disordered. Qi's eyes darkened slightly, he raised his hand and slapped her away. Snapped. Poof. Zhu Jian spit out a mouthful of purple blood, and then looked at Qi's raised hand with a pair of vertical pupils. Qi quickly put down his hand and said with evasive eyes, Old Antique, are you okay? I saw that you were not in good condition, and I was afraid that something would happen to you, so I forcibly woke you up. The color of Zhu Jian's pupils changed as he stared at Qi, his aura became stable and his scars healed automatically. You little brat, there are so many ways to wake me up, do you need this one? Zhu Jian gritted his teeth. This is the simplest way. Qi Xiao was extremely sincere and innocent. Seeing Zhu Jian going crazy, Qi suddenly asked, what did you see? Zhu Jian's pupils changed, with a flash of fear, your choice is right, she can become the existence that replaces the Taoist master. After Zhu Jian said this, he fell into silence. So what exactly did you see? Qi was really curious. If he could see it for himself, he would definitely have taken action by now. Zhu Jian's vertical pupils are deep and dark, the secret of heaven must not be leaked. Qi Hao said with a smile, Old Antique, this is not something you would say. Aren't you never afraid of the backlash caused by Tianji? Little bastard, it's useless for you to provoke the general. I won't tell you. By the way, if you have nothing to do, just follow Master Mo. When Zhu Jian said the last sentence, his tone was slightly serious. It is difficult for it to interfere with the hatred of the younger generation. But it still hopes they can live safely. Hearing Zhu Jian's words, Qi's eyes flashed with solemnity, and then he smiled like a spring breeze and said, Old Antique, you are so worried about me, why don't you tell me what you saw? After Qi finished speaking, a chess piece flew up and landed on the chessboard. Zhu Jian's eyes were far-reaching. Little Qi, the world is vast, just like this chessboard. All living beings are the chess pieces on it, but the chess pieces are never monochromatic, and there is no chess player. You should realize it yourself. After Zhu Jian finished speaking, his figure disappeared from Qi's eyes. Qi's eyes fell on the one Zhu Jian had landed on. The chess pieces are not at the intersection of vertical and horizontal sides, but in empty positions. All living things are chess pieces. If there is no chess player, who will decide the rules? 10 directions. Have you heard? The experience of those people has begun. Ying Zhao is very well prepared this time. Those people will have to shed their skins even if they don't die. It's not just that. I heard that Ying Zhao directly used the scene change to make Liu Kanglan and Mu Chanjue fall into the desert, which is the territory of the Fire Scorpion and the Black Vulture. TSK, TSK, TSK. Fire scorpions and red-yellow ants are both very difficult to deal with. It's uncomfortable for us to be stung by fire scorpions. I'm afraid Liu Kanglan and Mu Chanjue, a monk, can't handle it at all. Liu Kanglan and Mu Chanjue have their strength imprisoned again. They can't help but have no choice but to be besieged by the fire scorpions and sneak attacked by the black vultures. It's really miserable. Then if something unexpected happens, where will Liu Kanglan and Mu Chanjue die? Who can say this accurately? Anyway, it was arranged by Ying Zhao. It doesn't like the human race. Phoenix Master also knows that if something happens, it has nothing to do with us. After several discussions, they dispersed one after another, as if what happened just now had never happened. But all these comments came into Luin Jin's ears. This year, in order not to cause trouble to Liu Kanglan and the others, she never went to see them. Now that she heard such news, Luin Jin couldn't help but feel upset, and she didn't know what she was upset about. A boy from Jilin Yushu. A scene of drinking and chatting. Get along honestly without any calculation. This scene flashed through Luin Jin's sea of consciousness, and it turned out that without even realizing it, this experience turned out to be a beautiful memory. She envied Liu Kanglan and their way of getting along without any calculations and sincerely. I want to blend in with them more. It was rare for her to relax around them. It's not like being on guard at all times in Shifang Domain. She is the only female beast in the Ferocious Beast clan, and seems to be highly sought after and cared for by all the ferocious beasts. But she doesn't want this care and pursuit. These concerns were purposeful and put a layer of shackles on her, which made her very depressed. All the ferocious beasts just stared at her belly, wanting her to give birth to cubs. She doesn't want this, she wants them to see her strength and respect her. She didn't find respect in the Ferocious Beast clan, but she felt it in Liu Kanglan. Because of this, she wants to protect them. That's why she agreed to go with them when the hexapods appeared. She was afraid that because of her presence, the ferocious beasts would turn their attacks on Liu Kanglan and the others. I'm even more afraid that that kind of thoughts will deepen little by little with contact. Think about this. Luin Jin's eyes suddenly changed, and it was not her style to look forward and backward. Besides, obedience doesn't buy you any respect. Only strength can decide everything. After Luin Jin figured it out, he immediately set off to find the desert. Above. Zhu Yan and Lu Armed Ape looked at the direction Luin Jin left. Zhu Yan had a bad feeling. The direction Luin Jin left was really where Liu Kanglan was. The six-armed ape said, my guess was indeed correct. Luin Jin is really attracted to the human race. In this case, Liu Kanglan can no longer stay. Zhu Yan asked nervously, six-armed monkey, what do you want to do? I don't have to do anything. After the fire scorpion bites, if the antidote is not obtained in time, the human race will not be able to resist for long. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1074 Zhu Yan was deceived. Zhu Yan's voice suddenly rose, the fire scorpion bit Liu Kanglan, isn't it false news? A sinister look flashed through the eyes of the six-armed ape, how can you kill two birds with one stone if you are fake? Zhu Yan met Lu Armed Ape's eyes and felt doubtful in his heart. Lu Armed Ape was known to be honest and honest. Even in fights, he never uses any dirty tricks. Among the ferocious beasts, the six-armed ape is a rare ferocious beast with credibility. Because of Liu Kanglan's past trustworthiness, he agreed to work with him to test Luin Jin's feelings for Liu Kanglan. If the six-armed ape is not the six-armed ape, then this suspicion is not established. Who are you? Zhu Yan asked coldly. Does it matter who I am? The corners of the six-armed ape's mouth tilted up, revealing a hint of arrogance. Zhu Yan, you gave the orders. There is no trace of me in these plans. Zhu Yan was immediately furious and his eyes turned green. You plotted against me. Yeah, so what if I plotted against you? You're not stupid, and you don't have to blame the six-armed ape. As for it, it doesn't know anything. I controlled it. Now that the mission is completed, I'm leaving. After the six-armed monkey finished speaking, he waved to Zhu Yan. Then there was a flash of aura on his body, and then the six-armed monkey closed his eyes and fainted. Zhu Yan struggled for a moment, but he still grabbed one of the six-armed ape's arms to prevent it from falling. At the same time, Zhu Yan knew that it had caused trouble and must be dealt with immediately. It dragged the six-armed monkey to find Ying Zhao. Zhu Yan, say it again, Ying Zhao asked through gritted teeth after hearing Zhu Yan's reply. Zhu Yan almost buried his head in the ground. Boss, I didn't think at that time who was controlling the six-armed ape. I thought it wouldn't be a big deal, so I agreed. Ying rolled his eyes angrily. Ying Zhao took a deep breath. Isn't this a big deal? I asked you to arrange a trial for Liu Kanglan and Mu Chanjue to make them suffer more. I didn't ask you to send people to the desert, but also to the territory of the fire scorpion. Zhu Yan, you might as well call me Zhu Yan. Don't you know how powerful the fire scorpion and the black vulture are? Liu Kanglan and Mu Chanjue are monks and have not yet transcended. Do you know what will happen if they are bitten? And Luin Jin is free to decide who she likes. Even if there is only one female beast in our ferocious beast tribe, it is not a reason for you to keep an eye on her. After Ying Zhao finished scolding him, he became even angrier. Each of them has lived for who knows how many years, and has seen so many vicissitudes of life, and the changes of the sun and the moon, yet they are still obsessed with reproduction. Ying Zhao really doesn't understand the minds of these ferocious beasts. Boss, I was just. What's going on with Liu Kanglan and Mu Changjue now? Ying Zhao interrupted Zhu Yan and asked. Zhu Yan's eyes dodged. Liu Kanglan was stung by the fire scorpion, and Mu Changjue doesn't know the situation. Upon hearing this, Ying Zhao raised his hoof and kicked Zhu Yan. Why don't you go find the ancient snake to detoxify Liu Kanglan? Fire scorpions and black vultures only live in deserts. As long as other ferocious beasts don't step in there, they won't be attacked by them. The black vulture has sharp teeth and a sharp mouth, which can penetrate many defenses of ferocious beasts and directly bite off the flesh of ferocious beasts. Fire scorpions are highly poisonous. This kind of poison can paralyze the consciousness of ferocious beasts. After a ferocious beast is stung, if there is no antidote, it will need to rest for a long time for the poison to slowly disappear. Human monks are thousands of times more fragile than ferocious beasts. The poison of the fire scorpion may be able to directly destroy the monk's sea of consciousness. If left undetoxified for a long time, toxins can enter the soul. Whether Liu Kanglan will be alive by then is a question. There is actually no antidote to the fire scorpion's poison. The ferocious beast will never study the antidote and will only resist. But the fire scorpion is poisonous, and the Taiku snake has cold energy. In addition, Taiku often deals with the human race, so there may be a way to detoxify Liu Kanglan. Zhu Yan didn't dare to delay and went to find the ancient Ming snake. Ying Zhao set off immediately and rushed to the desert. Nothing should happen to Liu Kanglan. In the desert, Xiaoding's coercion scared away the fire scorpions, and also made the black vultures above not dare to approach. Mu Changjue crushed the talisman. In this case, Qin Hanyan and Ning Xiyu must be notified. Immediately, Mu Changjue fed Liu Kanglan a few detoxification pills, hoping to stabilize the toxins in his body. Mu Changjue did not dare to leave Liu Kanglan alone. He took out a bed from the space and put Liu Kanglan on it. Xiao Ding, protect him. Xiaoding still surrounded Mu Changjue. Mu Changjue's eyes narrowed. Xiao Ding, protect him, nothing will happen to me. Xiao Ding seemed hesitant, but finally obeyed and flew to protect Liu Kanglan. The fire scorpions in the distance were still eyeing them. Mu Changjue walked a few steps forward, away from where Liu Kanglan was. A dark light flashed in Mu Changjue's eyes. He raised the hand holding the folding fan and flipped his wrist, turning the folding fan into a dagger. He quickly grabbed the sword blade with his other hand and gently touched it. Gurgling blood flowed down the sword and fell to the ground. The smell of blood spread quickly. There was still a vaguely weird fragrance inside. This scent is fatally attractive to fire scorpions and black vultures. Swish, swish, swish. The fire scorpions crawled towards the blood. After that, they began to eat blood, and even killed each other to do so. The black vulture pounced on Mu Changjue's hand first. Mu Changjue quickly dodged, raised his wrist, and several blood beads flew towards the black vulture. Several black vultures swallowed the oncoming blood drops in one gulp. He immediately took out a bottle of medicinal powder and sprinkled it on the wound. In an instant, the wound healed. The black vulture hovered over Mu Changjue for a moment, as if it had lost its target, and then wanted to fly higher into the sky. At this moment, several black vultures suddenly lost consciousness and fell down. The fire scorpions that robbed the blood also died miserably, and many of them lost their mania and attacked their fellow humans around them. The Fire Scorpion King realized the problem with Mu Changjue's blood. He began to release signals to summon the Fire Scorpions back, and all Fire Scorpions who had eaten Mu Changjue's blood no longer obeyed the orders of the Fire Scorpion King. They rushed into the Scorpion group and started killing. The Fire Scorpion King could only order to get rid of these scorpions. At the same time, the Scorpion King was very angry. He happened to notice Ying Zhao's aura in the sky. The Scorpion King flew into the sky and pounced on Ying Zhao. Ying Zhao dodged. Scorpion King, what are you doing? The Scorpion King roared. The heroic move is that your subordinates asked us Fire Scorpions to cooperate with you and sting Liu Kanglan. They also guaranteed that nothing would happen to us, but look at how many brothers I have lost. Ying Zhao glanced down and suddenly felt frightened. There were at least 1,000 dead scorpions below. The Scorpion clan is no better than the Red-Yellow Ant clan. Except for the Ant King and a few red-yellow ants, the rest of the red-yellow ant family has no sanity. And every scorpion in the Scorpion tribe has sanity. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1075 New Jew's Blood, more updates. There are only a few thousand scorpions in the Scorpion clan in total. Now so many scorpions died all at once. No wonder the Scorpion King is angry. Wrong. There were only Mu Changjue and Liu Kanglan lying down below. So who killed so many scorpions? Scorpion King, what's going on? Ying Zhao asked. Ying Zhao, what are you pretending to be? You specially arranged the trial. Didn't you know there was something weird about Mu Changjue? The Scorpion King said, swinging his huge tail towards Ying Zhao. Ying Zhao dodged the Scorpion King's tail sting and explained, Scorpion King, there is a misunderstanding about this matter, and we have all been deceived. It can only bear this responsibility for Zhu Yan's troubles. Then tell me, who can deceive you? The Scorpion King obviously didn't believe it. I don't know. Ying Zhao felt a little embarrassed. He checked the body of the six-armed ape and found no breath left. Zhu Yan couldn't tell the characteristics of the other party. The Scorpion King said angrily, Ying Zhao, you are playing tricks on me. Ying Zhao suddenly seemed to have thought of something, and said, Scorpion King, don't be impulsive. Think about it for a while. Is there anyone in your clan who is obedient to others? The Scorpion King's tail stinger stopped in the air and he began to think. Scorpion King, you just said that you just let the fire scorpion sting Liu Kanglan, but the news I got is that Liu Kanglan was poisoned. Ying Zhao continued to remind. The Scorpion King hesitated and said, is Liu Kanglan poisoned? Correct. The Scorpion King realized something was wrong, but when he thought about how many of his brothers had died, he asked, what's going on with Mu Changjue? His blood can actually control the fire scorpion. Ying Zhao's eyes turned cold. Did someone take Mu Chanjue's body? Below. Fourth senior brother, what's going on? Ning Shiyu's voice sounded. Mu Chanjue said hurriedly, Shiyu, come here quickly and see if you can cure these poisons. Senior brother is poisoned. Yanyan, please check on senior brother first. Ning Shiyu said to Qin Hanyan and walked towards Mu Chanjue. Qin Hanyan immediately stepped forward to check the condition of Liu Kanglin's body. Ning Shiyu looked at the scorpion corpses on the ground. One scorpion was as long as an arm, so many scorpions were all dead. Fourth senior brother, who got rid of this? Me, Mu Chanjue said. Ning Shiyu glanced at Mu Chanjue and without asking any more questions, she took out a pair of gloves made of special material and put them on. She also took out various tools, arranged bottles and jars, and then started to take out the scorpion poison. No cultivation. She could only use the most primitive way to test the poison in the scorpion. Seeing this, Mu Chanjue looked around with a dangerous light in his eyes. If he didn't use blood, he would not be able to kill these scorpions. But there must be many hiding beasts in the surroundings. Why weren't they attracted by the smell of blood? He has known since he was a child that his blood is special. Any beast that eats his blood will either destroy itself or become cannibalistic. He never let anyone else discover this secret. When he revealed his special blood today, only the beasts saw it. I wonder how they will deal with him next. Mu Chanjue was not afraid at all when he thought of this. The aura of Mu Chanjue is not human at all, Ying Zhao said. I just tried to explore his sea of consciousness, but I couldn't succeed. The Scorpion King said in a solemn tone. Wouldn't they, the Scorpion clan, accidentally offend a great being? In short, Mu Chanjue gave it a very dangerous feeling. Scorpion King, what does his blood taste like? How could you resist sucking his blood? Ying Zhao asked. The Scorpion King rubbed his front paws together. As the king of a clan, when I saw other scorpions were not normal, I noticed that there might be something wrong with the blood. In fact, it was too far away and did not run over. After it passed, he realized that something was wrong with the scorpions and did not dare to bite the blood again. The Scorpion King recalled a little, that scent is like having an ultimate delicacy in front of you. You must eat it. If you don't eat it, you may feel the threat of death. But the scent goes as quickly as it comes. Once the blood disappears, it's gone. By the way, there were other beasts around at that time that were farther away. They didn't seem to be affected by the blood. The Scorpion King guessed that those ferocious beasts probably didn't smell anything. Scorpion King, what's going on with your Scorpion clan? Why are you killing each other for a few drops of blood? Yongzhu came over from a distance and asked curiously. Zhu Huai, who followed closely behind, said scornfully, there is also a black vulture that eats a few mouthfuls of blood and then falls asleep. It is really worthless. The Scorpion King's suspicions were confirmed, and he was in a bad mood. Tao Wu, did you smell anything before? Ying Zhao asked. No, Yao Zhu responded. Ying Zhao's eyes darkened slightly. Something was definitely wrong. The ferocious beasts are extremely sensitive to the smell of blood. Not to mention that they're nearby, even if they're a few deserts away, they should be able to smell the blood here. But now, Tao Zhu only saw blood and did not smell it. Therefore, the fragrance in Mu Chanjue's blood is fatally attractive to ferocious beasts, and the distance it spreads is very short. This would help Mu Chanjue protect himself better. Ying Zhao knew that the secret of Mu Chanjue's blood could not be known to more ferocious beasts. Otherwise it wouldn't be able to protect him. Scorpion King, do you have a way to detoxify it? Ying Zhao decisively diverted the Scorpion King's attention from looking into the matter of Mu Chanjue's blood. The Scorpion King shook his pliers. No. The poison on their bodies is to protect themselves. How is it possible to research ways to detoxify? The Scorpion King looked down, but said, Liu Kanglin won't be able to survive this situation for long. Even if I have taken several detoxifying pills. It can only protect Liu Kanglin from being corroded by the poison later. The poison of the fire scorpion is fire poison. As long as there is no detoxification, Liu Kanglin's body will continue to be destroyed. Fourth senior brother, I can't find an antidote for this poison at the moment. Ning Shi said with a solemn expression. Ning Shiyu said, stood up and looked at the entire desert. All things are interdependent. Maybe the opportunity for detoxification lies in this desert. Shiyu, what are you looking for? Mu Chanjue asked. Fourth senior brother, apart from the fire scorpions and black vultures, have you encountered anything else since you arrived here? Mu Chanjue thought for a moment, shook his head and said, no. Then we can only try it first. Ning Shiyu walked towards the black vulture. She had observed before that there was nothing in the black vulture that was incompatible with poison, but since the two existed together, they must be related. Ning Shiyu took out the talisman paper, bit her fingertips, drew a talisman, and stuck it on the black vulture. A ray of soul came out of the vulture's body instantly. Besides you and Scorpion, are there any other creatures in this desert? Ning Shiyu asked softly. The black vulture soul was shocked, why can you summon me? Ning Shiyu's aura changed, she looked at the black vulture's spirit with majestic eyes and said, answer my question. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1076 Fighting Fire with Fire. The black vulture felt a sense of oppression on Ning Shiyu. This sense of oppression seemed to be emanating from Ning Shiyu Yuanshan. The black vulture was surprised. Ning Shiyu was obviously from the human race, so why could he use his soul to suppress his soul? 20 miles away from here is the Viper's territory. The black vulture answered Ning Shiyu's question uncontrollably. After black vulture finished speaking, his soul returned to his body. Then its body suddenly exploded. The black vulture widened his black bean eyes and looked at Ning Shiyu in horror. What kind of power controlled my soul just now? Ning Shiyu did not answer the black vulture's question, but said, take me to find the Viper. The next moment, the black vulture found that his body was out of control. It spread its wings and crawled on the ground, letting Ning Xiu come up. You, what on earth are you? Black Vulture asked stammeringly. Even if it is the lowest level ferocious beast, it is still a ferocious beast. The strength of low-level ferocious beasts is equivalent to that of divine beasts. Ning Xiu, a monk in the divine transformation stage, couldn't even defeat the holy beast. How could she control it? If it weren't for the fact that Ning Xiu was from the human race. The Black Vulture almost suspected that Ning Xiu was controlling it with the power of blood. Ning Xiu stepped on the back of the Black Vulture, looked at Mu Chanjue and said, "Fourth senior brother, I will come back as soon as I go. You should keep an eye on these things." Ning Xiu was talking about the various bottles and jars on the ground. "Okay, Xiu, be careful." Mu Chanjue's eyes flashed slightly and he didn't ask any more questions. Ning Xiu raised her voice and said, "Take me to find the viper." The Black Vulture flew uncontrollably towards the viper's territory. The Black Vulture cried and chirped, "Fairy, can you release your control on me? I'm afraid I won't be able to catch the viper for a while." "Do I look stupid?" Ning Xiu asked. "Not stupid." The Black Vulture regretted it very much. If it knew that Ning Xiu had this ability, it would definitely not accept the benefits from Zhu Yan. Within a moment, the Black Vulture brought Ning Xiu to the sky above the place where the viper lived. Below, many crooked marks can be seen on the ground. "Fairy, vipers usually only come out at night. If they don't come out at this time, I can't catch them," said the Black Vulture. Ning Xiu's eyes swept down and dropped a few talismans. Bang bang bang. Yellow sand is flying all over the sky. Vision blurred. But at this time, there was a rustling sound from below. "Now we have it," Ning Xiu said calmly. The Black Vulture was speechless for a moment. Why did it see the shadow of the Phoenix Master on Ning Xiu? The human race outside now wouldn't be like this. Ning Xiu warned coldly, "You'd better not try to throw me down." The body of the Black Vulture, which was about to fly down, stiffened for a moment. The thought did cross his mind just now. Ning Xiu went down and entered the land of vipers, where no bones would be left. In this way, it might be able to escape control. But now that he heard Ning Xiu say this, the Black Vulture didn't dare. The Black Vulture pounced obediently and grabbed a viper as thick as a baby's arm. The viper's body is dozens of feet long. The Black Vulture's claws dug directly into the viper's fatal hole. The viper had no breath at this time. Ning Xiu observed the movements of the vipers below and found that after being alarmed, they all seemed to intentionally avoid a certain direction and escape. Ning Xiu said, "Go to the southeast." "Fairy, you can't go to that place. It's the most dangerous place in the entire desert. The beasts living here don't dare to go there." When the Black Vulture said this, his body shook. It really doesn't dare to go. Especially since it was alone and had to take Ning Xiu with it, it didn't want to go. When Ning Xiu heard the Black Vulture behave like this, her premonition to find out became even stronger. Maybe the antidote was in that place. But for now, she still let the Black Vulture fly back. The poison in Lu Kanglin's body must be suppressed. When Ning Xiu rushed back, she saw a kind-hearted old man beside Lu Kanglin. The old man was accompanied by a black dog half as tall as a man. The old man took Lu Kanglin's pulse, shook his head and said, "The poison has contaminated his blood. Simple removal of the poison will not work. An antidote must be found." The Black Vulture landed and put Ning Xiu down. "Hear a noise." The old man raised his eyes and looked at Ning Xiu. When he saw Ning Xiu's appearance clearly, a look of shock suddenly appeared in his eyes. Mu Chanjue stepped forward and asked, "Xiu, have you found any clues?" Ning Xiu withdrew her gaze from the old man and said seriously to Mu Chanjue, "You can only fight fire with fire first." Ning Xiu also missed the opportunity to discover the old man's abnormality. When she looked at the old man again, the old man had returned his normal expression. "Xiu, this is Senior Taiku. Thanks to him just now, he came to help the senior brother suppress the poison in his body." Mu Chanjue introduced. "Senior Immemorial," Ning Xiu said politely. The old man nodded to Ning Xiu and smiled more kindly. "Little girl, you just mentioned the method of fighting poison with poison. Can I stay and take a look?" The moment Ning Xiu and Qin Hanyan's eyes met, they nodded to the old man. The old man is none other than the ancient Ming snake. It was called by Zhu Yan. But it is not easy for it to approach Lu Kanglin and the others as a ferocious beast. After all, these few people had no idea where they were coming from, they just thought this place was a secret realm. Ning Xiu took a few drops of Lu Kanglin's blood, walked to the viper's body, bent down and took out the gallbladder from the snake's belly. The Black Vulture on the side lowered its head and remained silent since returning, waiting for Ning Xiu to speak. The old man watched Ning Xiu's movements quietly without saying a word. If Ning Xiu had the strength at this moment, she wouldn't need to perform such complicated movements at all. She would only need a few tricks to complete it. He didn't quite understand before. Why did Feng Qingran make rules to restrict their cultivation when he sent people in for training? Cultivation is strength. A monk relies on his own strength to move around the world. Feng Qingran suddenly cut off the capital. How could they grow? But at this moment, he suddenly seemed to understand Feng Qingran's intention. Perhaps only by losing your cultivation can you understand the importance of strength and cherish the opportunity to practice more. Ning Xiu studied for a while, then stood up with a bottle of something. The poison of the viper can inhibit the damage caused by the scorpion venom to the senior brother's body, and can also prevent the poison from spreading. But if the two poisons are in the senior brother's body, he will extremely painful. Tegu looked at the thing in Ning Xiu's hand in surprise. This thing actually has such a good effect. Before he took action, he suppressed the poison in Lu Kanglin's body. He only protected his important parts and prevented the poison from invading Lu Kanglin's sea of consciousness. It did not really suppress the spread of the poison. How did Ning Xiu do it? He watched the whole process. Ning Xiyu only used the blood from the viper's gallbladder and Liu Kanglin's blood to prepare this thing. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1077. It's just not reasonable. Let's use it on senior brother. Mu Chanjue struggled for a long time, but decided to use this method on Liu Kanglin. Ning Xiyu raised her hand and patted Mu Chanjue's shoulder. Fourth senior brother, don't worry, Yanyan and I will definitely not let anything happen to senior brother. Mu Chanjue and Liu Kanglin are on good terms. Now that Liu Kanglin was poisoned and comatose, his life was hanging by a thread, and Mu Chanjue was more anxious than any of them. After all, if the monk really dies, it is impossible to enter reincarnation. Xiyu, what do you need from me? Qin Hanyan asked. Ning Xiyu thought for a moment and said, Yanyan, I remember you refined a pain-relieving elixir before. Qin Hanyan took out a bottle of painkiller pill and handed it to Ning Xiyu. After a monk takes analgesic elixirs, the sensitivity of his spiritual consciousness will be temporarily reduced. The power of divine consciousness is an important existence for sensing danger. For monks, it is very important. Therefore, very few monks are willing to use painkillers. This elixir was refined and not prepared for monks. Ning Xiyu took the elixir bottle, poured all the elixirs out of the bottle, and then said to Mu Chanjue, make a slit in the palm of senior brother's hand. Mu Chanjue immediately followed suit. Make a wound the size of a fingernail. The corner of Ning Xiyu's mouth twitched. Fourth senior brother, I want to put the elixir in together with this thing. Do you think this opening is okay? Mu Chanjue's eyes were complicated. Can't you just pour it in? No, the poison must be melted into the blood. Ning Xiyu affirmed. Mu Chanjue's heart skipped a beat, and he made a large gash in Liu Kanglin's palm, and black blood rushed out. Ning Xiyu quickly poured the contents of the bottle onto Liu Kanglin's palm. After that thing came into contact with the black blood gradually turned into dark red. Ning Xiyu put the painkiller pill on the wound again. After a few breaths, the elixir melted in the blood. Ning Xiyu quickly put a purple talisman on Liu Kanglin's forehead and said, sprinkle medicinal powder. Mu Chanjue poured the healing powder on Liu Kanglin at lightning speed. In the blink of an eye, the wound on Liu Kanglin's hand disappeared without even a scar. Mu Chanjue wiped away the blood on Liu Kanglin's palm and saw the veins on Liu Kanglin's wrist bulging. There were beads of sweat on Liu Kanglin's forehead, and his expression was in pain. Xiyu, isn't there a painkiller pill? Why is senior brother still like this? Mu Chanjue asked nervously. Analgesic pills can only suppress physical pain, Ning Xiyu said, feeling slightly tired. She had no way of detecting the poison on Liu Kanglin's soul. But she knew very well that for monks, ordinary poison would dissipate immediately after entering the body, leaving no trace at all. Only poison that can act on the soul and soul can harm a monk. Of course poison doesn't have to hurt anything. It can also be used for other purposes. Ning Xiyu thought of the places she had not had time to go to before. Ning Xiyu told Mu Chanjue and Qin Hanyan to let the black vulture set off. Little girl, are you looking for an antidote? Tegu asked. Correct. Tegu's eyes were kind, but not turbid at all. I'm very familiar with this desert. How about I come with you? Ning Xiyu remembered the abnormality of the black vulture and responded. Tegu asked Fu Dao to stay before leaving. If what Yingzhao said is true, then the Shifang territory may be unstable. Fu Dao retracted his outstretched hoof and said through a message, don't worry, ancient venerable, I will definitely take good care of them and won't let other ferocious beasts hurt them. Tai Gu glanced at Fu Dao with satisfaction, and also called for a black vulture, letting it walk side by side with Ning Xiyu's one. Hey, Black Line, why are you so quiet? The Black Line is the black vulture that Ning Xiyu stepped on. Black Line heard the voice transmission from the black vulture beside him and ignored it. Black Vulture, who did not receive an answer, continued to transmit, Black Line, why are you willing to let this person step on your head? The Black Vulture seems to be a chatterbox. The Black Line doesn't answer it. It keeps saying that too. Finally, Black Line couldn't bear the annoyance and sent a message, shut up. If you keep talking, I will knock your head off later. Hey Xian, you were so fierce. You were not like this before. Didn't you like talking to me the most before? Black Vulture said in a very aggrieved voice. Xian was a little touched when he heard this, so he sent a message and asked, Hey Mu, do you know what kind of power can directly control our soul? This power is like the power of blood, but not quite like it. I don't know, Karakai said in a voice message. That's the power of blood. The ancient snake's voice sounded. Xian and Haimu were shocked at the same time, and asked via voice transmission, how can a human have the power of blood? After asking, Black Line and Karakai suddenly realized the problem. It seems that they just used the sound transmission method common to the Ferocious Beast clan. Forget about the Black Vulture's unique way of transmitting sounds. So what they said was heard by the ancient croaking snake. Ferocious beasts can also transform into humans and speak human language. Why can't human beings have the power of blood? The ancient croaking snake said cheerfully. He originally wanted to talk to Ning Xiyu on the way to find out something. But he found that Ning Xiyu had no intention of talking to him. He didn't speak rashly. As a result, I heard two black vultures talking and decided to join them. It's possible, but it's not very reasonable. And I remember that the human race never seems to pay attention to bloodline. They only look at qualifications. Karakai said. The ancient Ming snake said, the human race does not pay attention to blood, but this does not prevent them from having the power of blood. The human race was created based on the advantages of each race and combined with the laws of the universe to create gods. Moreover, human beings have boundless wisdom and will always come up with various ways to solve the difficulties they face. The bloodline is studied by the human race based on the hierarchy of the Orcish bloodline. Used to restrain blood. A beast with the power of blood can become the king of beasts without fear of bloodline superiority. However, it is unknown what will happen if the human race has the power of blood. So she can control me because of the power of blood in her body. This power of blood can actually control the soul of the beast tribe. Isn't it more domineering than the power of blood? Black Lion said gloomily. It's really uncomfortable to feel like your body is out of control. The Black Lion feels that the career of the ferocious beasts is murky. There are bloodline hierarchies in the front, and bloodline power in the back. How can low-level beasts like them survive? Don't worry, there are very strict requirements for using the power of blood. Although she can control it, she can't hurt you, said the ancient Ming snake. Black Lion, thank you, I am not comforted at all. Haimu was slightly worried about the voice transmission. Sir, ancient venerable, this woman has the power of blood. Can she use this power of blood to control the ferocious beasts in the entire 10 directions? Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1078 The Land of Illusion, additional update. The ancient Ming snake sent a message, no. Then why can she control the Black Lion? Karakai asked in a voice message in confusion. I don't know, the ancient Ming snake said truthfully. It was weird before too. He also specifically investigated and found out that even the Black Lion was willing to accept its control. Ning Shiyu's current strength is simply not enough to control the Black Lion. But she used the power of her blood to control the Black Lion. The ancient Ming Shen sent a message to Black Lion. Did anything special happen to you before you were controlled by Ning Shiyu? The scene of swallowing blood beads flashed through Haixian's mind. Just as he was about to send a message to the ancient snake, he suddenly felt a tingling sensation coming from his consciousness. Suddenly, Black Lion's body became swaying, and he almost threw Ning Shiyu out. Ning Shiyu quickly squatted down and grabbed the black feathers with one hand. Don't think about it. Ning Shiyu gently stroked the feathers on Black Lion's neck with one hand. There is a special feather there. The moment Ning Shiyu touched it, Black Lion trembled all over, all his feathers exploded, and fear penetrated into his soul. Black Lion immediately understood that Ning Shiyu was warning it not to talk nonsense. As early as Niu Chandue mentioned that he was the one who caused those scorpions to die, Ning Shiyu had guessed that Niu Chandue had a secret. She couldn't make all the ferocious beasts shut up and not mention Niu Chandue. But at least within her control, she had to prevent things from spreading. Ning Shiyu noticed the look in the eyes of the old man and Haimu, and said unhurriedly, we're almost here. Little girl, aren't the elders at home worried about you coming here to practice? Swire Snake asked abruptly. There are no elders in my family, Ning Shiyu said. Is your surname Kang? Taiku Mingshe finally asked the question in his heart. When Ning Shiyu heard Taigu's question, a dark light flashed in her eyes. Why do you ask that, senior? Taigu's expression froze. In that disaster, the Kang family was almost completely destroyed. Even Kang Xuanji was missing. No one knew whether the Kang family was still alive. But Ning Shiyu's eyebrows and eyes were clearly similar to Kang Xuanji's. In addition, there is blood power in his body. If she were to say that she was not a descendant of the Kang family, Taiku would not believe it. After all, Kang Xuanji spent countless efforts to come up with the bloodline. The Kang family's annihilation back then was related to bloodline matters. You are similar to an old friend I met, Tegu said matter-of-factly. Sometimes, instead of guessing, it is better to state it directly. Language was created to facilitate communication, not to test each other. Senior, you have admitted your mistake. My surname is not Kang. After hearing this, Taiku's tone became more certain. I didn't admit my mistake. Your surname may not be Kang now, but the power of blood in your body cannot be faked. Did your ancestors pass down a hammer? Ning Shiyu said with absolute certainty. No, Senior should have seen me using the talisman. Which talisman master's weapon would be a hammer? Talisman masters all like small weapons, which make it easier to use the talismans. Who knew Ning Shiyu had finished speaking? Taigu's eyes showed excitement. You can't be wrong, Talisman Master. Only the Kang family can produce such a young Talisman Master. Talisman is a low-end version of witchcraft. Because the witchcraft is too strong, it makes most people feel a sense of crisis, so they deliberately target the Kang family's witchcraft. The Kang family doesn't want to be the target of public criticism. So the witchcraft was sealed up and only talismans were used. Talismans are no longer only available to the Kang family. Some special people can also practice talismans. However, those who can best use the talismans are those from the Kang family. Later, with the annihilation of the Kang family, many talismans were lost one after another, leaving only some low-level talismans. And the talisman that Ning Shiyu affixed to Liu Kanglin just now was clearly a high-level talisman drawn with blood. Senior Tegu, my surname is Ning, and I am not from the Kang family. Ning Shiyu decided to make it clear. What? Your surname is Ning? Tegu's eyes suddenly turned cold and his eyes were searching. Kang Xuanji's descendants can have any surname. It just shouldn't be named Ning. Taiku looked at Ning Shiyu a few more times and was sure that he couldn't find any characteristics of the Ning family on Ning Shiyu's face, so he felt much better. Maybe Ning Shiyu just happens to be named Ning. A surname means nothing. But the Kang family's surname is Ning. Swire always feels like there is a thorn stuck in his heart. Tegu regretted following him, and even more regretted asking Ning Shiyu. It should pretend to know nothing. Senior Tegu, do you have any questions? Ning Shiyu asked softly. No problem. The ancient Ming snake waved his hand and fell into silence. Kang Xuanji. Kang Xuanji. You won't be stupid in the end and give birth to a child for Ning Qiongling, right? Taiku remembered the reason why it had terminated its contract with Kang Xuanji, and he wished he could rush back and give Ning Qiongling a few slaps. The place of vanity has arrived. A black line voice sounded. The sky not far ahead was filled with blood-red gas. Even from a distance, you can still feel Senon's aura. Fairy, it's very dangerous here. Are you sure you want to go in? Black Line asked. Sure, wait for me outside, Ning Shiyu said. Black Line looked slightly surprised. Could it be that Ning Xiu had seen through its thoughts? The black thread landed smoothly, crawling on the ground, letting Ning Xiu get down. Seeing Haixian's obedient movements, Haimu's black eyes widened. This guy is the leader of the clan, and he would do this to a person. You are also waiting outside, Taegu explained. No matter what Ning Xiu's last name is, it still wants to keep her safe until her identity is fully understood. Ning Xiu glanced at Taegu with complicated eyes. Senior, do you want to go in? Taegu chuckled and said, I was curious about this place before, but I didn't dare to go in by myself. Now that you are with me, I will definitely go in. At the same time, in a dark cave, the leader is in trouble. A bat flew in and shouted anxiously. Yin Miao was hanging upside down and said in a cold voice, what's the matter? Leader, the ancient croaking snake broke into the place where the ancestor slept before. The place where the ancestor slept before was not in the desert, but there was also a barrier. Why did the ancient snake go to the desert for no reason? Yin Miao asked slowly. The evil demon who reported the report said, I don't know, but the message came from there that the ancient snake broke in, and a human race went in together, and that person still has Feng Qinggran's aura. Yin Miao suddenly spun and landed. What? Didn't Feng Qinggran leave the Shifang domain? Who is that person? The reporting demon said, after Feng Qinggran left Shifang territory, he sent several people in for training. Yin Miao almost couldn't breathe. Why wasn't this kind of thing reported in time? The evil demon who reported it shook his body and said, at that time, you said you wanted to retreat, but we didn't dare to disturb you. Besides, those few people couldn't come here, so we didn't report it to you. Junior sister, we really can't